Hey everybody, welcome back. Holy, you know what? I don't even have the randomizer open. What am I thinking? I gotta be honest with you though. I busted out like an incredible run on stream yesterday. We should have like a 4 streak. I don't know, but here's the randomizer. Let's give it a spin. 3, 2, 1, go. Tainted Lilith, Boss Rush, Beast. So that's Boss Rush True Ending. That's doable, and you know what? A fun character as well, so thank you for that. Pop me in here. Yeah, we're on a 4 streak. Tainted Lilith, Boss Rush, Beast. So we need the Fool card, of course, but that's nothing new. Here's your seed, by the way. 9VRKY222. Y222. It is, it's a Saturday morning here. It's the first Saturday that, like... Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, we got item descriptions on now as well. So, like, it saves me, and this is nothing against Platinum God, which is, like, an unbelievable resource. But it saves me having the Alt-Tab and open a Platinum God tab. And I didn't want to say tab again, but I couldn't think of a word in order to replace tab. You know, we got to get going on that. We got 75 different words for, like, you know, cake. Only one word for tab. And what are you interfacing more with on a daily basis now? You know, unless you're like in the Palace of Versailles as like a French royal in the 16th century or something like that, you're probably dealing with more tabs than cakes at this. Or maybe you're a baker. That's fine. Maybe you're a baker. Maybe you're a butcher. Maybe you're a candlestick maker. I don't know. I don't have control over that sort of stuff. I'm just hazarding a guess. So I like that our speed has come way up. I'm a big fan of that. I don't expect to get a lot of money. Hold up. So a Spirit Heart is tempting, but Keeper's Elbow is like the dream here. So like Boss Rush doesn't really bother me too much. Like with Tainted Lilith, our speed is high enough. We should have a really good chance to get there. But the Beast, you get a little bit less time to let's go. You get a little bit less time to start popping off, which is the, let's not call it scary because I don't think that's true, but is the potentially deleterious factor there. I think if we play our cards right, 4 unidentified pills. That's pretty good. That's fine. That doesn't matter. In fact, it's possibly good. And something's wrong. I think we take the damage. And why would I deliberately want to take the damage on that one? I'll let you think about it, because I could be wrong. But assuming I'm right, I think you want to deliberately take the damage. So that you can use the IV bag to possibly generate enough money to get Keeper's Elbow. But I really don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't think it's gonna happen. Do we know the pill? This is you can cheat the system a little bit with your item descriptions mod. So I think we'll just play things the easy way. We'll say, you know what, we're happy that we got mighty close. We could have pushed it slightly further, but at great personal peril. And then we'll just head down here. I mean, I guess you know what? You gotta respect it. I still don't think we would have gotten there, but fair enough. I left a little bit on the table, and sometimes that's all it takes. Good first floor, though. Like really good first floor. We almost doubled our speed. IV bag is not as good as blood bag would have been, maybe, but still nice for the future. And yeah, I'm feeling good. It's a Saturday. It's the first normal Saturday in a long time. Well, in like, you know, a couple of weeks. Last Saturday, Kate got her dose 2, which meant on Sunday it's a nice little rock cluster there, but on Sunday she was a little bit twisted up, so and on Saturday, you know, I mean, it was just twisted up by definition, you know, by necessity. And the Saturday before that was the day 1 past my second dose, so that ended up being fine. But I thought I had prepared for the fact that I might be spending the entire weekend on the couch. So It feels like you know, I mean, I wouldn't call it a return to normalcy this early necessarily, but it definitely feels like get a little bit of recreation in this weekend. I don't know what that means in our present climate of like combination wildfire, heat wave, and also, you know, the rise of the Delta variant, but I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Can I tell you something? Oh man, maids. This has nothing to do with any of that. Thinking about what to make for dinner last night, I was like, you know what? I made a lot of quesadillas lately. Well, not a lot, but you know, maybe like once every week and a half or something like that. I haven't made tacos in a while, so I went and I got some peeled and deveined shrimp. I don't know if they were actually deveined because they did have like the poop line. I don't mean to look, okay. If they say they should be deveined, they should be deveined. If you're paying for deveined shrimp, they should be deveined. That being said, the shrimp poop, I'd prefer not to eat it. It is gross, but at the same time, if you don't know it's there, then you don't know it's there. So I kind of take the approach, I guess, for me, where I'm like, what mama don't know won't hurt her, like Henry Winkler said in The Waterboy. I can see the line, I can see you, but I won't. You know what I mean? So I'd like to get in there, man. Let's see, bombs. Oh, lots of spirit hearts. That's very nice. Anyway, long story short, I ate the poo-poo. Full health. Hold on, speed up. This is full health. I'll lose the red heart. That's fine with me. I'm just trying to think, do I want to spend... Because I really do at this point have to spend 2 bombs that I do not have to get there. TNT won't get us there because it's a one-room charge and I already burned it all up. I mean, to be honest, to be honest with you, I kind of just like that play right there. I wish we had a little bit more sauce to go with it, but so be it. So anyway, long story short, yeah, okay, I didn't devein my own shrimp, all right, but I made some shrimp tacos. I might catch some flack for this. I like a corn tortilla, but I've getting older means being true to yourself more than being true to society's whims, okay? I believe that there is a prevailing belief that corn tortillas are more originally authentic, and as a result, must be better, because if something's more authentic, it has to be better by default. It's not about what tastes better anymore. It's about, you know, this is the way that it's most accurate to create it, okay? But I went with the corn tortillas for a while in my life. I said it's tasty, don't get me wrong. It's hard to screw up a taco, a quesadilla, a burrito, etc., etc. Admittedly, you probably are going to want to use a flour tortilla for a burrito to begin with because you need that kind of stretchiness, but that being notwithstanding, as time has gone on a little bit, I think I've been true to myself. You know, I've let this pays for itself pretty quickly. I've let the flour tortilla creep back in on occasion, and I think I'm now of the opinion that I don't know. I apologize if this shocks you. I think I prefer a flour tortilla for just about every single purpose. I would not say no to a corn tortilla. And I do love, you know, like yellow corn tortilla chips. Look at this luck stat temporarily. My history, by the way, with perfection tells me that after not getting hit for 3 floors, we usually get hit, I don't know, in about 4 seconds after we do this. But it's still really good. Just don't forget about boss rush. We're well ahead of schedule. Don't forget about your fool card. That's the most important thing. So I got some shrimp. Got some small flour tortillas that I could warm up in the skillet, make sure they were blistering a little bit. Oh, man. Got some pico de gallo. Got some red radishes, which this might actually be one of the first times I've ever bought, like, red radishes. I've bought, oh, now I'm blanking. What's the name of the Japanese name for radish? In Korea, it's mu. In Japan, it's Daikon. Thank you, brain. Still got it. Still got it, baby. I've bought daikon before. You know, I've bought gattugi. I bought danmuji before, but I don't know if I've ever bought like your traditional kind of red radish. But I was thinking, you know, if you're having like a shrimp taco, you got to put some red radish in there. But they're so cheap. It was like $3 for, I don't know, 12 red radishes. Now I don't know what the hell you do with a red radish. Unless you're putting it in more shrimp tacos. And I'd be loath to let it go to waste, but like the only unidentified and a luck down. Okay. I'm not taking my I'm not testing my luck with any more pills. I think we've gotten super lucky with the ones that are in our rotation. The only two uses of red radish that I know are as a beautiful accoutrement to a taco, or alternatively, as an addition in an absolutely terrible fast food salad. I don't know what else you do with a radish, quite frankly, and I'm afraid to ask. But if you got ideas, please do let me know. And I gotta though they went off gangbusters last night. Shrimp was very easy, you know. You just hit it with a little garlic salt, a little regular salt, freshly cracked pepper, a little cayenne pepper, a little cumin. A little chili powder. Cook it till it's done. Look, I'm not a cooking channel. Look it up. I don't want to be responsible for you getting a foodborne illness. You need to know how long the shrimp cooks for. Look it up. I missed the Spider-Man 1. I missed the part where that's my problem. Oh! Okay, don't get hit, man. Perfection is popping here. What's the guy's name in Spider-Man 1 that shoots Uncle Ben? Belko? Something like that? That ain't Belko! Oh! Great line. One of history's all-time great comebacks. If we're talking about history's great wordsmiths, I think you gotta go, you know, Winston Churchill, where that lady said, Prime Minister, if I was your wife, I'd poison your tea. Winston Churchill. Madam, if I was your husband, I would drink it. And then number 2, Tobey Maguire. I missed the part where that's my problem. Anyway, what was I talking about? This really sucks, kid. What he says, something like that. Anyway, it's been a while. Yeah, and then you just cook it till it's done. Warm up those tortillas in the skillet. Little squeeze of lime juice on the shrimp when it's done. A spoon in the pico de gallo, a spoon in the shrimp. Dress your own tacos, eat them. They're like 3 bites each. Oh man, it was beautiful. So that's my anecdote. Is that, and by this point, by the way, we're 13 minutes into the run. I'll tell you, I can personally promise you, the anecdote about, tempting, but I don't want to lose perfection. The anecdote about making the shrimp tacos was actually longer than it took to make the shrimp tacos. I'm not trying to drum up any toxicity. There were a few, you know, when I got off the HelloFresh train, there were a few doubters, you know. Doubters, they don't just exist in Isaac, they permeate to all areas of the world. People, they could be a believer in your comedy, but a doubter in your ability to, you know, generate healthy fitness habits. You could have a doubter academically, but athletically a believer, you know. People, they run the gamut there. So I asked, you know, hey, does anybody have any, and I've got a history of amateur cooking. I never, you know, do we know what this, well, we don't know what this is. Never oh, not bad. Never, you know, worked in the profession, but in university I would, you know, spatchcock chickens and you put some herbed butter under the skin and high roast them like America's Test Kitchen style. Like, I had a great time doing it. Yo, this is actually amazing. Let's go play the... Are we gonna... Oh, we're so far ahead of schedule, man. Let's go play the blood bank here. I would love to get a blood bag. Just makes IV bag that much better. I made some mother sauces and then some secondary sauces off of the mother sauces. I was enough into cooking that for my birthday one year, my friend got me 3 expensive cuts of meat from a nice butcher in university. And that's a gift you only get someone if you're like, hey, they're into this right now. I remember that was like the first time I'd ever cooked rack of lamb, the first time I'd ever cooked Cornish game hen, which to be honest, I honestly thought was pretty much a downgrade over almost any kind of poultry I've ever had in my entire life. But the rack of lamb was fantastic. Even, you know, as an adult, I don't really feel comfortable paying for a rack of lamb, but eating it, I'd absolutely love to. Let's see if we can get maybe, you know, we got to get our donation machine back up there. I don't mind. I don't mind that in the slightest. Anyway, long story short, so I asked, hey, anybody got any recipes out there that I might be interested in? My only criteria, really, is I want it to be, you know, from... But total prep plus cook time of half an hour-ish. You know, if it's 32 minutes, if it's 40, I'm not going to sweat it that much. But I didn't want people being like, oh, you know, well, step one is at 8 in the morning, wake up and, you know, take your dough out of the fridge. And because I know, and again, I'm not besmirching that kind of food. You know, I'm sure it turns out amazing. But I really wanted to make it clear this was like a Rachel Ray type situation where taste is important, but convenience might be number one for me. There were some haters, and you're not going to believe it. Some people who I'm hoping now have realized the error of their ways, or saying things like, oh, if you want a meal that's cooked in 30 minutes or less, your only options are like Domino's. I'm telling you, you should be ashamed of your words and your deeds. Most of the meals I make are like 20 to 30 minute Marties. Turn out fantastically. It's not, you're not resigned to merely... you know, instant pot soups and stuff like that. You can make a lot of great meals in that amount of time. We have enough speed that I actually feel like lard is kind of a bop here. This is an amazing run, by the way. I don't know if we've been hit by anything except curse rooms up to this point. I think Tainted Lilith is just like... I'm not gonna say it yet, okay, because it's a little early. Let me just say one thing, which is that Tainted Lilith is so good. The fact that I haven't gotten my angel deal yet only just now started factoring into my mindset. Prior to that, I was just having a wonderful time. We could drop that for like a cracked key or something, but I don't know if we even care about a cracked key on the way back here. Because it really just gives us inner child, unless we can get like a reroll as well or something. But I might go so far as to say... one of the most fun characters to play, without a doubt. But also on top of that, Tainted Lilith might legitimately be like... If you had gave me one run to like... you know, if you lose this run, you die. If you win, you live. I think I might take Tainted Lilith. I probably wouldn't go to... that's max rate of fire, by the way. No, we're already close, but... I probably wouldn't go to Boss Rush. Oh, that's a good get. Oh, no! After all that. Oh, well. Anyway, long story short, I might take Tainted Lilith over, like, the previous choice, which would, you know, likely be, I don't know, maybe Azazel. Azazel is pretty easy. I know is in vogue now to be like, Azazel's not that good, you maybe just be Isaac instead. Sure, maybe, but, you know. We should read these descriptions more. I'm like, get this text off my screen. Oh, wait, Homer, that's useful information. Deep Pockets, by the way, done some good work for us here. Didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Anyway. So yeah, been cooking some good meals. That's about it. That's pretty much the sum total of my anecdotes, is listening to Comedy Bang Bang going, hey, can I get like maybe like 2/3 of a pound of those peeled deveined shrimp? Wonder, there's no way we can get a refilled like a brand new donation machine, right? I'm pretty sure that the donation machine is scuffed forever. Okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. You know what? We're out. Perfect timing. We're not gonna miss boss rush. People, I've noticed, because you know we've opened the Isaac Casino. I understand when it's your money on the line. People get a little bit skittish, you know. They're like, go, go, go. But you gotta recognize, if I've ever been accused of anything, you know, there's polar opposites in the Isaac community. There's stallers and then there's rushers. I am a rusher. And I've got to be honest, I think that rushing has gotten a bit of a buff in Repentance due to the existence of planetariums. So now sometimes I'm like, oh, I forgot to go to the item room. I say, no, no, no. That was on purpose. You wouldn't understand. It's simply an increased chance for us to go to the planetarium and get an item that makes us farty. Beautiful. Okay, 2 of whatevers. 2 of hearts. You know, might even just pop it right now. I've had a really, like a series, if I'm being honest, of crap luck here on our shops, considering the amount of money we have. But it is what it is. We're probably like, I bet if we fight the angel statue, we'll be about a minute behind schedule. But we're also like, we're very strong. So I would just discourage you from being concerned at this point. Not that, you know, I don't understand why you would be concerned that I wouldn't make it to our arbitrary thing to begin with. But if you were, if I did it, I'm telling you, you have very little to trouble yourself over. Even this, like, this would normally be a pretty annoying boss fight. Turns out it's totally fine. That's pretty good, actually. Monstrance is totally fine. I feel comfortable even taking this opportunity right here. Remember, we gotta do boss rush, so in order to fulfill my arbitrary achievements, my arbitrary progress that I set out for myself. Okay, we'll go a little faster on this floor. No more talking about shrimp tacos. Sorry, I got distracted. Always get distracted when I talk about shrimp tacos. See ya. I will say as well, you might find yourself... Ooh, that's easy. You might find yourself being like, NL, what happens if you have something like boss rush and you don't make it? Are you gonna, like, nuke your streak and consider that not a... Here's what I'm gonna say, okay? I think the right way to tackle this is, first off, I wouldn't worry yourself so much over, over that sort of minutia. You know, like, that's a problem. It's like you're on a road trip with somebody, you know? You don't want to be like, hey, when you come to the, you know, exit sign, are you going to do, like, a 35-degree turn and then slow down once you get into the off-ramp, or are you gonna maybe, like, you know, like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's minutia that I think by and large doesn't really matter all that much. So I wouldn't concern yourself greatly over its effect. Secondly, I think the best way to handle it is, like, make a good faith effort in order to do the thing that it asks you to do. And if you can't do it, then so be it. Like, Hush and Delirium and stuff like that, there's percentage-based problems, you know, like, there's timing. Sometimes, as much as I would love to believe you can literally make boss rush or Hush on any run, it's definitely not true. Like, there's runs where your damage is so bad, you're playing a character that's kind of not very good to begin with, where it's just more or less, if not impossible, like borderline impossible. And in those situations, I think it would feel bad both for the streamer and for the viewer to, like, nuke a perfectly good streak, because you're like, well, we only got speed upgrades, but no damage all the way up to this point. So I think that as long as a good faith effort is being made to make it, which, you know, is not right now, because I could have just bombed my way out of this room. That's because I'm not concerned, because I know we're going to make it anyway. Okay, so we have to do boss rush. So just keep in mind you're going to be holding this Fool card, doing all of boss rush, and then using the Fool card to teleport out of the mom fight after you leave boss rush. See, look at that, totally fine. You might say, by the way, doesn't really matter what we take because we're going to give it up after boss rush, but you might say, oh, you only made it by a little bit. And while that's true, we were also behind by quite a lot coming into this floor, and we still made it comfortably, so You know, you got to consider where you started. You gotta, you gotta get right. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you're starting from shrimp tacos, the flour shells. We don't want none of those stinky corn shells. This whole episode, I'm realizing, by the way, we could have stopped it like at the exact point where I said that flour tortillas are preferable to corn tortillas. I'm sure that 90% of the discourse, and this is the way I'd prefer it, by the way, but I'm sure 90% of the discourse is going to be like, you know, I used to enjoy Eggman's takes, and then he came out with the most ridiculous one I've ever heard. I live in Oaxaca, and I've never heard such an asinine take in my life. Look, you are asking somebody from one of the coldest countries on the earth, even though we are in the middle of a summer heat wave right now. We're one of the colder countries, I'd say. You're asking somebody from one of the coldest countries on earth about, you know, Mexican cuisine. I probably have a bit of an askew, take on it versus maybe what's authentic, but all I know is what tastes good to me, you know? Some non-authentic interpretations of food tilt me a little bit. Like when people put ketchup on spaghetti or something like that, I'm like, you've lost your mind. And sometimes, you know, the flour tortilla, I'm like, I think it's not necessarily that I think the corn tortilla is bad. I just think the flour tortilla gets a bad rap. I think too many people consider it an artificial tortilla, an imposter among us. And I think that, if I could push back on that narrative with whatever, you know, cultural impact I have, then I would consider my work here done. By the way, always a great sign that your run's going well. When you're on boss rush and, like, essentially not paying attention to what's happening. Apart from that, I don't know. What am I up to, banter-wise? Not that much, you know. I've been playing a little Pokemon Unite. I've been having a good time with it. Definitely the community has gotten a lot stronger. Like, it used to be, the wins were just, if you knew anything about MOBAs, like, you're just crushing it. Now people are starting to, like, they're clearly playing in stacks, they're doing, like, team-based plays and stuff like that, but it makes it more fun. It means, you know, that there's some close games that are not, you know, simply, like, 700 I mean, there was, like, a week on Twitter where anybody who played a MOBA was posting a screenshot of their Pokemon Unite game, like, look, we won 900-6. I think we're starting to get past that era. But it's still fun. It's really, I mean, I play, like, maybe on average, like 3 games a day, like a half hour or so. What a beautiful item for us, by the way. And Fool card out. This is important. Just pay attention for a second. Fool card out. I'm somewhat tempted to play like an Eddie Room. Don't get me wrong, but I think we'll just do something like that. And honestly, I think I'll just go down. I'm not like, I don't know, people. I don't know if it's like a coping mechanism or something. They always think, like, or maybe it's just, I was gonna say a bad sense of humor, I apologize, but it's like the easiest joke when I'm like, oh, you know, I'm playing a MOBA, but I'm only playing like 3 games a day. People are like, sure, yeah, 300 maybe. And I'm like, no, you don't, like, I'm actually busy. I'm not saying you're not. You maybe are creating that image by acting like it's literally impossible to play 3 rounds of a video game. Like, There's a lot of, you know, things in my life that suck up time, and then beyond that, like, I have a good kill switch for MOBAs these days, which is really like, if I find myself getting mad, I just, you know, after the round's over, I just turn the game off. And just for the record, you might find yourself being like, well, if I never played MOBAs when I was mad, I would never play MOBAs. Let me offer the idea for you that actually might be like a great solution if you find that they're compromising your mental health. At the end of the day, I think MOBAs do a great job of like hijacking, and I'm not trying to be, you know, anti-MOBA necessarily, but I think they do a great job of like hijacking the part of your brain that is like, I'm making progress towards like an endeavor. I don't really want to pay 9 cents for a card, man. When in reality, they're supposed to be leisure, you know? And sure, maybe not all leisure time is created equal, but, you know, if you're playing your leisure... If the number one thing that you want in your leisure time is, like, no matter what, I want to get to, like, Diamond in League of Legends. Okay, so be it. Then you know, you're probably going to sacrifice some positive emotions for that, but if you get the fulfillment on a greater sense out of that accomplishment, then don't let me stop you. But if you're like, I'm going to have fun, and then you find yourself, you know, nearly in tears over League of Legends, then maybe that's a opportunity to say, you know, let's do something different. Maybe get into, like, baking or making shrimp tacos or something like that. That's a good one. One of these bombs, like, blows this whole thing up, but I don't care. Hold on, there is an item room on this floor, right? Should go take a look. So yeah, I mean, if I get mad, I turn it off. After the round, I've never rage quit a game of Pokemon Unite. I have done the thing where I like rage, attempted to surrender, and I've noticed the Pokemon Unite community is already starting to turn into the Rocket League community, where if you vote for a surrender, people are like, wow, give up much? I don't think so. And then all the people who voted no run into a team fight without the rest of their team, die, and then go, okay, you know what? 32 seconds ago, I didn't really feel like surrendering, but now, for some reason, I think you're right. We could. The only thing I'm concerned about with the 5 room is that it would screw up the path we're on and, like, send us down from the mausoleum. Because we don't get another boss. We do get another shop. I mean, that's an amazing item, man. I think... Don't shoot the messenger on this one, okay? I think I'm just gonna book it. And it's genuinely not out of, like, a rush strategy. This, like, the game's a touch buggy. I'm worried that the 5 room interacting with the mausoleum on the way up could create a situation where, unfortunately, like, we end up having to go down from the mausoleum instead. I know that doesn't seem like it makes sense. Hey, it doesn't make sense to me that if you play Tainted Eden and you use the clicker, your game crashes. But, you know, I didn't develop it, so what do I know? I think this is a reasonable margin of safety for us. But my other thing is, I also, like, I think I've figured out another trick to MOBAs, which is if you have an amazing game of a MOBA, turn it off. If you're streaming or something, or, you know, you're playing with your friends, maybe it's not possible, but if you're solo queued and you have, like, an amazing game, just dump it, man. We had a lot of spacebar items, by the way, that maybe we should peep on the way back up here. I know it's one of those things where I'm like, if you only play until you get tilted, I see this with streamers all the time. It's why I think having a guaranteed endpoint as a streamer is, like, so sensible. Otherwise, you know, you just stream until you get so tilted you don't want to stream anymore that day, and I think you end up, like, having a extremely negative relationship with your community. Not that I've been there before, haha. But anyway, what I do with Pokemon Unite, like last night, I set aside time to play a few games. Game 1 wasn't a good one, but it was okay. You know, I had a decent time. Dad, can you be quiet here for a second? Like, I'm trying to talk to my friends. It was okay. And game 2 wasn't even close to when I wanted to go to bed, but we crushed so bad that, like, at 5 minutes in, the enemies just surrendered. And I said, you know what? I think that's a great time to go to bed. Let's maintain that positive emotion. You know, we beat the dopamine casino today. Let's go to bed with a smile on my face, and I did, and I woke up feeling great. I think what can happen is instead you're like, oh, we won, so, like, this is fun, let's do another one, and then you do another one, and you're like, oh, we won, it was good, and then you do another one, and you're like, oh, well, we lost, but we only lost because one of our teammates is an idiot, and then you're like, oh, well, then let's run one back, and you just end up in this, like, misery spiral where you're, like, playing forever. Don't take this, by the way, as, like, this is my philosophy on MOBAs, but don't get me twisted. I'm sure, honestly, Yera is kind of, like, valueless here. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's NL. Instead of being like, you should play a MOBA, it's why don't you learn, you know, Fortran or something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a always a proponent of like hobbies that also move you ahead in life. Possibly, I'm not on the rise and grind set or anything, but you know, if you gotta, really, it's more about having like a hobby that serves you, you know. And if a hobby serves you, like if you're a cinephile and you love watching movies, that's great. But you know, you get to talk about the movies, you get a community aspect around the movies, you enjoy it, even when you see one that's not so good because you get to talk about it, more power to you. If you're like, my hobby is League of Legends, and then if I kibitzed, I would see you being like, what are you doing? Then I'm like, okay, that's maybe a hobby that doesn't serve you, but I don't know, maybe it does. I'm not trying to be judgmental, you know. This for once in my life, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I will say Yera Spirit Heart's kind of tempting, but I'm still feeling pretty solid here. Like, I mean, I know that we've lost the Yera rune, but it would have been nice to have, but I'm also... Let me look at these. Chance to gain flight after killing an enemy persists for current room. Look, the 4 wisps is okay. It's not like a game changer, really. I feel like flight, a chance to gain flight on the first boss fight, as small as it seems, might be worth more. Although our speed is so high, we're almost flying to begin with. I know this sounds like either punching down or like I'm talking from my ivory tower, but that's the reason I quit Dota in the first place in like 2014. You know, I was playing it and I was like, oh, can't wait till like work's over today so I can play Dota. And then when I was playing Dota, you know, I play for like, you know, 3 or 4 hours a night. And when I audited my time, I was like, about 25 minutes of that on total was fun. And so I feel like I kind of quickly came to terms with the fact that I was like, I could be doing something better with my time. And then that's when I started jogging, I think. And then that jogging, I guess it was 2013 that I was playing Dota. But anyway, led to me getting in really decent cardiovascular shape and then tearing my meniscus. But, you know, still, I would take that over you know, my previous MOBA compulsion any day of the week. You know how much mileage I've gotten out of that meniscus story? This is a really cool and good and fair attack, by the way. Okay, phase 1 done. I suppose we're flying anyway due to shears, but I'm telling you, I don't think those wisps would have lasted too long regardless. So we should be completely fine. I have a hard time believing we're gonna lose this one. It honestly is just Tainted Lilith is just too good, too big to fail. Do you have boss armor? I feel like the Repentance bosses, they like reworked boss armor to not be so irritating. So I was like, maybe I could get in there and put some bombs down and like reset your boss armor. You know what? You just Beybladed that thing right back at me like a vending machine trying to accept a non-standard coin. So I decided that that's okay. We don't need to do that. Perhaps that won't be necessary. All right. Now, we have such a high rate of fire. Like I'm enjoying. I genuinely default to the idea that the Gello damage is like almost always what you want to do. We do have such a high rate of fire that just like shooting and then having like the pencil activate as frequently as it does also seems pretty good. And the main benefit is not the damage, but the fact that it allows us to maintain a much better distance. I'm realizing, by the way, we do have a problem. Slowing tears causes a real issue on the fire attack that the beast does. But I'm just hopeful that we're not gonna have to worry about that. I'm putting that, I'm filing that away as something that we're not gonna have to worry about for the reason that it's uncomfortable to think about, and you know, sometimes that strategy works and sometimes it doesn't. I think, by the way, the shears is not gonna do very much for us either. Look, this run ended up being good, but not necessarily, like, stellar. The main thing about it, though, is keep in mind, this is also a run where we managed to accomplish this while... Oh, he can fly! Dude, was it because of Batwing that this became possible? This would be such a huge vindication. I mean, look at the Batwings! Anyway, long story short, we also donated like 70 cents to our donation machine, which... that means something to me, okay? My donation machine has been very kind to me in the past. It's nice to give back. Frame? Did he say frame? Where are you going? Okay. We're doing super well now. This is not even close to dangerous. And I'm hoping the double shear will be even better. Tainted Lilith, man. So that's a good character. I don't know. You know what? We should do an Isaac tier list. When I finish this video, I'm going to put that on my Twitch schedule for next week. Now that I've actually played enough as all these characters, we can do a Repentance character tier list. I don't know what the criteria will be. I honestly, you could do 2 tier lists, right? I think you could do like strong and you could do fun to play. Anyway, let's not worry about that. That's work that I'll get done in like a few days. For now, just dump another one of these on you. Excuse me. I'm trying to get close enough that the shears might start doing some work. Hey, for as busted as this might be, it's not even close to the delirium bustedness, which I've been having to do a lot lately. So now this is what I'm worried about, is the slow fires. But you know what? The fires aren't slow. It's because of spider bite. I thought it was because of our angel item that I forgot the name of. You know, cool cross. But spider bite means that only the target of our shot is gonna slow down, which just means, you know, the fires are gonna be fine, and they work. Can you please like do some damage, shears? Sorry, just I don't need to focus that much, but you know, while we're here, I'm like, we might as well take advantage of it. I mean, I really thought we were doing more damage than this. I didn't think we'd have to go through this song and dance, but... Dude, the bomb hit is so good, though. You're almost... Are you almost dead, or did you just turn white because of the spider bite? I think you just turned white because of spider bite. Look at this, though. Hiya! 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 Oh! Yeet! Yeah, yeet. Yeah, yeet. Dude, the bomb throw is... I mean, look. Pretty fringe case, I think, but fun nonetheless. Very good, and look at that, a streak of 5. The randomizer's been very gentle. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps it a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!